Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We are just a few minutes late, but all the more exciting then, put you in suspense. Thanks for joining us today. This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast, episode 230, and we have another special guest here to just chill out, relax, kick back, and talk crypto with us. I am Daniel Brown, and I'd like to introduce our special guest, Mr. Crypto Rick. How's it going?
Going good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. Thanks for coming on.
This is actually my first podcast, so y'all are popping my cherry on that.
All right,
yeah.
We did that last week too. It was Bitcoin Bella's for Bitcoin podcast debut. So
Cool. Yeah.
that was a fun time. Before we get into all kinds of fun stuff, we're just gonna chat about some of Rick's projects, what he's working on, and I titled the episode about ICOs because there's ICOs are ICOs, but there's some interesting stuff going on with all that right now, particularly the national ICOs. So that's all coming up. Real quick, I want to thank our amazing sponsor who makes all of our episodes possible as of late. That's America's Card Room. You can find them at youmeandbtc.com/poker. As you might expect, it's a poker website. They give you everything you need. And of course, the key is they offer crypto for deposits and withdrawals. Obviously, that's what you care about. You can play with up to 60 different cryptocurrencies, which is pretty crazy. Actually, I believe they're beyond that by now. So whatever crypto you want, you can do it. And another key, 100% bonus on your first deposit up to $1,000 if you use the code BTC100. You can't forget that. You, me, and BTC.com/poker. Use the code BTC100 for your bonus. Double your money off the bat. Okay, Rick, tell us about yourself. What's going on? Where'd you come from? Why are you here?
Yeah. I'm originally, obviously, you can probably tell from my voice, my accent, that I'm from the South. And
I can tell.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? And I get told that a lot. My girlfriend or my fiance is from LA, so her whole family just absolutely rips me when I speak. But yeah, man. Yeah, Crypto Rick at Twitter, and I've been dealing with cryptocurrencies for probably, gosh, that was 2000. I bought the top in 2013. So,
All right.
I guess what is that? A little over 4 years.
Yeah, pushing
4
5.
years.
That's about when Tim and I got into it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess a little earlier, maybe. I don't know, but it was fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I bought like 0.3 when it was like literally, I think $1,000 is when I hopped in.
Well, it's good that you're still around then. A lot of people would give up after a crash after that.
Well, I'm really upset that I'm pretty big anti-social media. And so I'm pretty upset I found out about crypto Twitter like last April. Because Bitcoin talks and Reddit threads and stuff like that. It wasn't, crypto Twitter. So I'm pretty pissed off about that one, I guess. But yeah, I've hung around for a little while. I've been a pretty big believer in it. I guess I really hit the ground running early. Was shouting from the rooftops to everybody, you need to buy this, you need to buy this. And my dad still, I told him about $25,000 at $250 a piece, right? And he still just got into it. He bought like $600 worth of Litecoin, and I'm like, dude.
Because it was cheaper, right? It's cheaper than Bitcoin.
And CNBC was shilling it, and it's just like, you're gonna listen to Brian Kelly, which I get it, because that's anybody, anybody over 40, they take that stuff apart, what CNBC tells them. They're obviously going to be years behind. So it was frustrating that Brian Kelly, shielded my dad instead of me. But yeah, so we got some stuff going on. I guess this is the well reports just came out, I guess, yesterday. And did you guys get a copy of that? Zach, did you see it?
Yeah, I did. It was awesome. I followed I saw tweets obviously about you guys working on it in progress. And then opened the first issue, and it was great. Like super super easy to digest, and like great format and good content. It was awesome. So yeah.
It was tough working on it. Obviously, I'm working on it with if you're a listener haven't tried it out, you'll need to sign up at I think it's thewellreports.com. I don't know because I know there's
that's what I was looking at.
What is it?
Whale.report is the one I was looking at.
You can do that one as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
linked to it, so I hope it's you.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it's going to get better. For the first edition, I think it was definitely a hit. It came off, it looked clean. It kind of met some objectives. We talked about some certain stuff going on, but eventually I think we want to work towards daily. And
wow,
nice.
That'll take time, obviously. You know, you got to have revenue. I mean, because you can't, it's going to be tough to work a full-time job, especially my job, and then be keeping up writing articles, you know.
I feel you.
That's just a goal of ours. But yeah, the team's great. I think the chemistry's good. Everybody's got their own little shtick, you know. And we wanted to make it really readable. In and out, get your news, you know, get your story, and you're done for the day. You know, we want to do it daily reports. So you get like your 2 stories that are big, and then you're done. You know, you don't have to search everywhere to find, you know, a specific article or see what's going on, you know. So I think it was overall a hit. I think the feedback was good. Some of the stuff was a little outdated, but it was still relevant, I guess. So yeah, I mean,
it's hard though, like building news, because like everything happens at the speed of light, and you're like trying to get a newspaper. Like by the time you edit it, it's already like out of date.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed this before. Did you say what your day job is, or do you mind saying?
No, I'm an industrial salesman. We'll put it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can't really just be on the.
I'm just constantly driving around. Yeah, and we just opened a new store, and I'm pretty much running that one. So this past month, I've been pretty inactive on Twitter. You know, I just can't.
Yeah,
I've got too much going on.
Just on your phone, just, wait, I'm just typing something.
Yeah, like I believe in crypto, but I'm still gonna keep my job until I know, you know.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I mean, I think about that every day. I love my job. I love the people I work with, but I also love crypto.
Yeah,
and I wish I could spend more time on the site writing articles. I wish I could do a show every day. I don't know. We'll see. I want to get there. I want to get there tomorrow, but I can't. So we'll have to see.
I can't believe you. What is this? Episode 230?
230. Yeah.
How long has this been going on?
Since I guess 4.5 years now.
Yeah, it
something
was
like that.
Friday back then.
Congrats.
And I guess we also we've actually done more than that, because we've gone to conferences and released special interviews. We did for a summer back a couple of years ago. We did a whole summer's worth of an additional live episode per week, which was not counted towards our episode total. Cool. And then just a couple of weeks ago, Zach started a second weekly show called the Coin Pod. So that's been going on for a little bit now. So we're probably pushing 300, little bits of audio by now.
Yeah, congrats. Impressive.
Yeah. It's been fun, slow and steady. We're not like freaking CoinDesk over here. We're just having a good time, reaching whoever we reach. And
we're better than CoinDesk. That's the way we have to.
We are way better.
Yeah,
that's not even a joke. We are way better. It's just we don't have money to make it explode or whatever. So we pick up viewers as we get them.
Not yet.
And that's not all the times. That's the best route to go anyway. Yeah. It makes it work.
I'll take what I can get. Everyone, you don't have to worry about budgets. Just have a good time. Run. A website costs you $20 a month, and as much time as you want to put into it. That's it. And it can grow as much or as little as it grows. So
how's my audio? Is it okay?
Yeah, you're doing great. Tim has a little bit of a robot voice again. We haven't had that in quite a while. We used to make fun of him.
Yeah, I still haven't heard this. I think it's Daniel, because he's made me buy a new laptop, a new mic, everything, because he has bad internet from Cox or whatever their name is. So don't blame me. It could be me too, but I refuse to admit it.
Right.
Well, hey Rick, I'm gonna make a schedule for the next 10 minutes here. I'm gonna ask you a question about a personal story. Normally we do this at the very end, but I know we're not sure how long you're going to be with us.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and get it out now. What I'm going to ask for is a personal story from the Bitcoin space. And this is where almost anything goes. It could be a funny story. It could be, we've gotten a lot of scam stories before, people that got scammed. It could be when you met someone awesome in the space.
Yeah.
Almost anything goes here. It's an interesting story. But to give you a second to think about that, and because I haven't mentioned it yet, I am going to also drop a quick reminder to all of our viewers to check out btc.com/live. That's where you can get to our landing page every week, actually. You can go to /live to find our landing page with links and the chat and the video and anything else you need. And I'm trying to get there now to see if anyone's in the chat. We got NY Cartoons, another Thursday night on the East Coast anyway. Thanks for joining us, NY Cartoons. And as always, for everyone listening any week, feel free to drop any questions or comments in the chat, and we'll love to get to them. Normally, we also have a poll at the bottom of our landing page, some sort of random fun question for the week. I was busy today and I didn't get around to that, so I might find time during the episode if we come up with a good question. If you have an idea, drop it in the chat, and we might have a poll coming up. All right, back to Rick. Anything interesting you want to share with us? Personal story in the Bitcoin space?
I guess I can share how I got started. It's
all right. Let's hear it.
Pretty hilarious story. So I'm living in Dallas. It's taking back 2013, and the reason I remember these dates, obviously, because it's Bitcoin, but then it was August of 2013 is when I found out about Bitcoin, and I was dating a girl, and she was going back to school, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. You go back to school. Can we go to this? Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm kind of nervous, to be honest with you.
Daniel makes people feel that way.
Yeah,
I'm definitely on the
crap
spot.
out of them.
So yeah, I'm dating this girl, whatever. She's going back to school. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So she moves off to school, and I invite her to go to this Ole Miss Texas game. I'm a big Ole Miss football fan, college football fan.
Okay.
And so that was September, I think 13th or something like that. And then but I continue to date, because she's going back to school, and I don't want to hinder her college experience, because I'm 23 at the time. And I'm like, go have fun or whatever. So I meet another girl. And so I meet another girl, and we're getting to know each other. And I'm like, I'm really liking you, but I'm just going to give you a heads up that I'm taking this other girl to this football game. There's no future there, but I'd already promised her and already had plans. She's like, okay, that's fine. She was like, and I still remember, she's like, funny you say that, because I have to go to San Francisco in a few weeks to see like my ex fling. And I'm like, all right, my head starts rolling. You know how guys are, like we size, I want to know who he is, or, if he's better than me and how I'm better than him, whatever. And so
you're way better than him. I already know that.
Thank you. I have to say I was pretty insecure about this when I found out who he was. So, and I won't give him away, but he was a pretty big figure, especially back then, in the Bitcoin. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so we'll
Andreas or something.
What?
Andreas or something.
No, not that big. Let's pump the brake.
If it was Andreas, I might take back my comment about who's better, but I still love it.
Daniel would start cursing you out now. You leave Andreas' girl alone.
So yeah, she's going back to San Francisco or whatever in a few weeks. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm like, all right, well, in my mind, I'm like, San Francisco, so he's probably in tech, or he's like a big time, real estate investor. He's definitely wealthy. I'm like, damn. So I'm like, all right, what does this guy do? And she's like, oh, he invented the #1 Bitcoin app, and it's like some internet money. So that's how I found out.
Right.
And sadly, so that night, of course, I go back home and do some research on what is Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know what it'd be at then, probably $200, $300. And I read the white paper, and I watched watched some stuff on it. I'm like, instantly clicks, so now I'm thinking, God, this dude is cool. I'm like, how did he get into this?
That was him.
Huh?
You're like, fuck, I can't hate him. He's kind of cool.
I know. And I follow him on Twitter now, you know, and you know, I won't say his name. But yeah, I definitely didn't like him, but I respected him because he indirectly showed me, you know, the best thing that's ever happened to me, really, financially, and just sorry, I got some in my throat. Financially and just fun. You know, crypto Twitter is really fun. Sorry.
Yeah.
Emotional about Bitcoin.
I
I love it. I really miss it. I
I'm
want
not.
to tweet now.
All the listeners,
that's
I'm
fun.
crying.
That's definitely one of the most dramatic, you know, personal stories we've ever gotten. So
It was
fun.
You know, it was just it was crazy. And so, you know, I'm not with her anymore, but you know, thank her too, I guess.
So Bitcoin is forever. So they're doing whatever their thing is, but got those fat bags now, so that's all that matters in the end.
It's been a fun ride. Last year was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Crazy.
God, everything you touched would go 10 times at least. It was the fakest thing I've ever been a part of. It was awesome. You know? Like,
are you speaking of other things? I mean, are you into any other cryptos or crypto projects that you're particularly fond of, or is it just Bitcoin for you? Are you a maximalist?
No,
where are you at there?
Well, I'm actually in the minority, and probably on this panel. Okay, the selling points for Bitcoin for me, and I hate to be that guy because I kind of flipped, not flipped, but
Get out now.
I know.
We're done.
I keep an open mind. I won't say that. You know what I mean? I own both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin.
All right.
I know. Scum.
Daniel's getting mad.
And I take a lot of heat from it, you know, in the pod, especially in the Telegram. And there's only a few of us that are even open to it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, but we'll get back to normal. I'm not going to do that. Your viewers will get pissed. Y'all probably lose.
Oh no! Please piss off our viewers. If anything, they need to piss off. So they respond.
Tim's job on this show is pissing off our listeners. So if you do it, if you take his job from him tonight,
Help me a little bit. Yeah.
he'd probably be happy. But no, like I don't blame you. We've talked about it before. Obviously, a ton. Everybody talks about it, and I know. Like even some Bitcoin maximalists like just hold their Bitcoin Cash and just like ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist or something. So like people, like not everybody sells it. Like I don't know if I've said this on the show. I still have some from the fork that like I haven't sold. I'm just like sitting on it, and if it ever like reaches parity with Bitcoin or something, like 1 Bitcoin equals 1 cash, I might sell it. I don't know.
It's free money.
I think it's stupid, and I think Roger Ver is like a little shit, but
the worst.
Like
he's the worst. I agree. Look, I know all those points. I know he is terrible.
Yeah.
But you know, I wouldn't underestimate him, and I wouldn't underestimate a lot of those people. You know, I think it's similar to being like a Trump supporter during the election. You know, like
yeah,
everyone hates you. You know, and I.
Don't say that because everyone hated them, but then they won. So now Bitcoin Cash is gonna. But
I agree. I know
what you're saying though, and like, it seems so. Somebody tweeted the other week. I can't remember who, but they said, "Remember, Bitcoin Cash has only been around for like 150 days or something." I was like, "Fuck, are you kidding me?" Because like it seems like it's been a year at least, and it's barely been half a year. I guess that's like about half a year. But yeah.
No, I go back and forth on not. I think if we go into a bear season for a while, like 2015, whatever, and 14, after, you know, after the alts went nuts then, but it could give time for developers like Lop and all them to really catch up. We're not ready. You know, we're not ready for mainstream adoption, no matter what. Bcash, they just don't have the transaction volume. They would get swamped too. You know, blockchains just aren't good at scaling right now. You know, so it's for the long term, it would be good to go into a bear market. But I like my gains, you know, and I love alt season. So it's kind of. You know, I think they need some time. We've got to work on a lot of stuff. And and it's just the way it is. But besides that, I won't go down that road. I've been liking Monero a lot lately. I think not just obviously like illicit transactions and all that stuff, but privacy. I think cash is eventually going to be extinct. I think they're going towards that direction. And I just don't like, the government knowing every time I swipe my card, and if I own the store, they're taking 1% to 3%, and then sometimes 4% with American Express. That sucks,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a lot of value to anonymity. You don't have to be a bad guy to want private transactions or corporate mergers, things like that. I think there's a huge demand for that, and it's only getting started, and Monero is untraceable. So,
yeah, no, I agree. I think, so I don't really keep a well curated portfolio of, so I dabble in a few other coins, I guess, every now and then.
Okay.
But a lot of these,
a maximalist?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I don't know. So I think a good maximalist trader, I think all traders are maximalists because they trade against Bitcoin in a way. I think, but I think a true maximalist would hate that I said that. But I still I think it's true. But a lot of these traders and shit I see going on in Telegram groups and all that stuff, they're all really bullish on. They all have their privacy coin portfolios.
Yeah.
And I think that's for the next year or two or so. That's a pretty good place to be in. I don't know. I will say I saw some of your tweets way back. Way back is relative, I guess. But I snagged some of that. What's it called? Just for shits. I can't remember what it's called now.
XLM?
No, LBC or LBR or something or
LBC.
Yeah. And it's hurting, but that's how it goes, I guess.
How would you do this to me?
Are you talking about the recent shill or back in the day?
Sort of back in the day.
Last a month and a half ago?
LB, I don't remember. Yeah, I just sort of LBRY coin or something. I don't know.
Yeah, library credits. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a cool project, but
they actually have a working product too.
Yeah,
which is pretty rare in this space. So,
yeah.
I think
that's a pretty good, the conversation starter, because I actually titled this episode ICOs Past, Present, and Future, because there's some random ones we felt like talking about today, particularly some more about Venezuela, some comments I heard from Iran thinking about doing the same thing. Also, Telegram is going on as we speak. Any thoughts on Telegram? It's supposed to be gigantic.
They have 4 billion, 4.2 billion or something.
What?
It's just
really?
Or it's 4.2 billion and their target was 2.5 billion and their target was 4. I don't remember which, but
sold 6 million or just under 7 million of them.
That is,
but it's a super secret, only accredited investors, super secret, 3 super secret rounds of funding. And I use Telegram all the time. It's probably the messaging app besides maybe Keybase and Signal that I use the most. And so with $4 billion, I'm expecting some pretty fucking dope upgrades to Telegram or something. I don't know what they need $4 billion for, but
yeah, I'm trying to run the math, looking at it's discounted. So they're selling them for about, 0.06 millibits. They're trying to sell 12 million of them. And if we estimate 10,000 per Bitcoin, I'm coming up to $6.7 million. But I might be doing something wrong.
Yeah, no, it's 6.7. That's what it says on their website, at least. I was just saying it's just under 7 million.
Oh, okay,
7 million? I was seeing
7 million. Did I say billion? I didn't mean to say billion. If I said that,
I said billion.
He said billion.
That's a pretty big difference.
No, okay, I think it's billion. Yeah, it's
4.7 billion or whatever.
I'm dead ass positive that it was billion.
I'm sorry. It's 7 million gram. They've sold 7 million of those. Yeah, so then that should be billion, because each one of those grams is worth
Yeah,
Zero,
see, don't
zero,
fuck with
zero,
me. I
zero.
got my math right.
Yeah, no, I didn't start this, Zach. This was all them.
No,
I
it's
was on the
not
side.
billion. I'm telling you, I did the math. They're selling them for 0.06 millibits roughly. Multiply that by 12 million gram times about $10,000 per Bitcoin. I'm showing $6.7 million.
All right, maybe I
I don't know. Maybe my math is way off right now. I'm just saying
No,
that's what I'm
here.
getting.
Okay, see, I fucking found it. Do you know Matt Odell on Twitter?
Nope.
Maybe not. So their first round they raised 850 million at 38 cents per token.
Golly.
Second round 1.15 billion at $1.45 per token.
Okay, so that must be what we're looking at. Different rounds probably is why I'm
And-
only. Yeah.
Oh, I see. They're still like in their second pre-sale round. So I was wrong. But so their target is like 4 billion and they're on their way there. But pretty sure they've raised
Yeah,
over
that's
$1 billion.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Even just
target.
whatever one you said was 850 million. That's crazy.
What could you
Yeah.
possibly do to a messaging app? Like, where do you spend $4 billion?
Yeah,
right.
That's nuts.
send pictures. Oh wait, we could do that for years now. Send videos. Oh wait, we have that too.
I don't get
Honestly,
it.
though,
Next up,
something you don't need $4 billion for it. I guess we can just like all shit on Telegram now. One of the things I hate about Telegram is like if I look at on the left at my feed or whatever it's called, chat schedule, I would love to just like clump all of my Bitcoin Telegram groups, like all of my college Telegram groups, all my work Telegram groups,
Yeah,
because it's just like a nightmare scrolling through things.
agreed.
I hate it.
I've never used Telegram in my life, but you know.
You still haven't
Hey,
used
but
Telegram.
yeah,
You love
never.
You love Signal, but Signal doesn't have a desktop app as far as I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, on desktop I use Slack for I guess a lot of stuff for work, for a couple crypto groups.
What about Discord?
Yeah, I've dabbled with it once or twice.
Yeah.
I guess Slack at this point, Slack used to be the latest and the greatest. It's kind of outdated at this point, honestly. It still works with everything. People still love it, but
Yeah.
it's like it's not the latest and the greatest anymore.
Yeah, you've got Telegram raising $4 billion. So
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you, I was thinking just today, actually. I had a minor epiphany. I'm still thinking through it all, haven't come to any official decisions, but I was thinking with this whole ICOs in general, I mean, they've been going on, well, big time, they've been going on for a year or two now.
Yeah.
And we kind of have always said, like, oh, they're interesting, be careful. Some of them might be fun, but clearly a lot of them are scams. And that's still true. I mean, everyone knows, well, not everyone, and that's why it's a problem. But a lot of people know that a lot of ICOs are never, well, they might not be outright scams, but they might not end up anywhere. But here's where I ended up today, actually. This minor epiphany that I had is that it's still ICOs are kind of what we always wanted out of Bitcoin since those early days for us back in whatever 2012-ish. Which are still not the earliest days, but is as dangerous as ICOs are, they're what we've always wanted out of Bitcoin, and it's amazing because what it allows you to do is raise all this money, send money to whoever without, well, I mean, now people are worried about government intervention, and it could be a problem, and we'll see. That's maybe another conversation, but for the time being, anyway. It lets you do a lot of stuff with a lot of money without having to get the government involved, which is that sentence right there is 99% of what we wanted out of Bitcoin. At least me anyway. I know everyone's different. But I'll say that sentence again. It lets you do a lot of stuff with a lot of money without worrying about government intervention. So I'll just throw that up for debate. Any thoughts on what I just said?
But you have to. So, for our listeners who don't know, and for Rick, Tim and Dan are like the hardcore anarchists, and I try and balance them out a little bit.
You've been following me for long enough to know that. Like I'm
yeah,
completely anti-government. Yeah,
and like the government, I'm not the fan of the government, but you have to worry about government intervention because like all these ICOs are already getting shut down. People are going to go to jail. Like we've barely started.
I'll grant you that it could be because like we talked about, it might have been just last week, how we give the SEC a lot of power in our head. They write the laws and we do follow them a lot. So I'll grant you that, Zach. Bitcoin,
but
can't.
But I will say,
can't,
like,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I saw some. Oh, it was when the SEC or CFTC, whoever it was, sent out that thing about pump and dump groups, and they're like, you'll get a 30% reward if you rat people out or whatever. And it was part of this 2 or 3 page bulletin that was essentially like a consumer advisory notice telling people, hey, don't be retards. Like, be careful where you spend your money. And I was reading through it, and I was like, this is like what you're fucking good for. Like, you need to be advising and educating people, not like making rules that, or like, which essentially are arbitrary decisions of this is okay, this is not. Like, and the things they've said are good have blown up in their face, and probably some of the assets and securities that they've written off are perfectly okay. Like, who are they to decide? That's rhetorical. Don't answer. And so that bulletin of them advising people, I was like, yeah, more of this, please. Like, we're all these scams. I would say, so I'm not a huge, like, there are, I could probably name like maybe 5 ICOs that I wouldn't want to like shoot in the head if they were a person or something. And like we're just like getting started, and they're all scams, and people are going to lose all of their money, and that sucks. Like with BitConnect, people lost a shitload of money, and that sucks. But I was just talking with a friend over beers about it. He's like, see, this is why we need the government. I was like, no, I'm not glad they lost their money, but I'm fucking glad they lost their money. Like, that's how you learn.
Agreed.
So, like with all these ICOs, I'm not putting my money into them because I don't want to fucking lose my money to something that like the team is brand new. They're probably like high school graduates or something. They have a cool YouTube video, but no product. All they have is a Telegram group. Like, I'm not putting my money in something like that where I'm front loading them with all my cash or coins, UTXOs, whatever you want to fucking call it, and then they'll give me the product later. So sorry for the rant, but this is just like the government can fuck you still. All ICOs are shit, but in the future we'll get some really cool stuff from it, and there's nothing the government can do about it. That's my take.
That was fun. I liked it. I like a whole lot of what you said there. I pretty much agree. I mean, the government, Bitcoin does not get the government out of our heads. They're still going to control us. We're still going to obey them for years to come, no matter how powerful Bitcoin is. But so yeah, so they are going to make laws about ICOs and Bitcoin and whatever. And we're probably going to follow them. That's why nobody sells Bitcoin in New York except for Coinbase. But so yeah, they're still going to have a lot of power, but for the time being, and yes, possibly in the distant future, once we sort out even more radical innovations like Bitcoin, yeah, it's going to be a gigantic, powerful platform to allow this free monetary innovation. And so I agree, Zach. I still hate a lot of ICOs. I still freely admit that a lot of them are scams and will, cost you money. But still, I'm gonna hold by that epiphany. It's like, well, we're getting there. Like, this is what we wanted out of Bitcoin. We wanted to be able to do what we want with our money. And this, some people are, some of them are making cool projects. They're hard to find, but they're out there.
And I'll say, like, well, I want to say first, in the first issue, the Genesis issue of the Whale Reports, there's who's it? A Crypto Bully. The interview with Crypto Bully touches on ICOs a little bit. So definitely check that out for some interesting.
He's a great follow. He's a great follow for that. I think he just got a job with a law firm that's going to be specializing in crypto. So
yeah, definitely follow Crypto Bully. One of my favorite follows. I actually
one of my best friends.
Oh, really? I was going to ask you too, like, related back to the Whale Reports. How many of these guys do you know, like, in real life, or?
None of them in real life.
Okay.
Google Hangouts, the pod, our Telegram.
True.
you know, I've got his number, so I've always threatened to release it if he you know.
Yeah, he's cool. I emailed him a little while back. We were emailing back and forth about law school stuff because I'm trying to go to law school, and obviously, like you said, he's an attorney, and he was helpful. He's super nice guy or girl. I think it's a guy. Yeah. But
yeah, super smart guy.
What was I gonna say about ICOs? Fuck, I lost it.
They're shit.
Fuck, I can't remember. Oh, you were saying they're all scams, and so without getting too philosophical, like, what is a scam? It's something where you put your money in something and don't get what you expect. Well, maybe you expected nothing because you didn't do any fucking research and didn't know what you should have expected in the first place. Like, do you really think you'll get 50% returns like every week? Are you like?
Yes, no, people do believe that, Zach. A lot of people.
Yeah, I know, and so those people deserve to lose their money.
I agree. I agree. We can't hold everybody's hand.
Yeah, and so I think like
the government's
intellectual evolutionism.
Exactly. Yes. Whatever.
Darwinism.
But my point is, what everyone calls scams is just stupidity. We're indulging stupidity. Like,
yes,
there is no, well, there is such a thing as a scam, but even like old grandmothers, like, you don't need 50% returns. You're gonna die soon. Like, just hold on to your money. Like, and for young college kids,
or just admit that you're gambling it on this ICO. I mean, anything past 80 is the bonus round. So try to 10x your money. Go for it.
It's a gamble. There's no such thing as a scam. You're either being stupid, you're gambling, or that's it. And so, like, I don't know.
Well, no, you're right. When most people complain about something being a scam, it's mostly like, this made me actually have to pay attention to what I was doing with my money, and that makes me angry.
And the thing is, even if it is a legitimate product or project with legitimate leaders, it's still going to have a lot of the same properties of a scam. They might not come out with a product, no matter how great the team was. They might fall apart. They might blow their money intentionally or unintentionally. Even one of my favorites here that's right here, Spells of Genesis. It's a card game that lives on the blockchain. I believe it's one of the most legitimate ICOs because they have a real project. The tokens actually do something. And in the game, but that's people have loved trading cards for years, which is why I thought it would have value. But even then, like, no matter how legitimate that is, a lot of people, including myself, still have issues with the company and how the companies run and how they issue cards and what kind of cards they issue and how they develop the game and what features they do develop or don't develop, all that kind of stuff. So no matter how legitimate it is, you're still gambling. It's an investment that may go up and it might go down. So be it. You got to recognize that.
Well said.
Anyway, hey, so I got to run an ad before we get too far away. Are you wanting to stick around, Rick, for the last few minutes, or you got to split?
Yeah, I'll stick around for just a few more minutes. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to run this ad. I'll ask you guys.
The fiance, I think, is busy, so she's not bothering me. She only sent me one text in the other room, so I think we're good.
I'm going to ask you three to mute yourselves if you don't mind, just so we don't get too much audio going all over during this commercial. We'll be back momentarily, and of course, I do sincerely thank the sponsors again for supporting us all the time.
Get ready for Crypto Overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
All righty. So I gotta ask Tim a question, an important question.
No.
What is it with this friggin' Korean dude you keep telling me about? I put him in the show notes because I know you want to talk about him.
You're still muted. You're still muted.
Korean Jew?
Korean? Who?
Maybe.
Oh no, not. Oh yeah,
Korean dude.
Okay.
Wait, Rick, you heard about that? Well, I don't want to steal Tim's. Okay,
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
you have to.
No, it was just a Korean official. I'm not exactly. I don't know his name. We'll have to look it up. I don't know exactly what he was doing, but he was kind of in charge of the whole thing where they were starting to put some pressure on Bitcoin exchanges. They wouldn't allow people to use. I think part of it was like they wouldn't allow them to use anonymous bank accounts for buying it, which I didn't even know was a thing anyway. But apparently, and this is South Korea. And so they were putting more pressure on Bitcoin. I only remember hearing about it before where they were saying like this could affect something because then a bunch of people in South Korea would get kind of not like the people already using it aren't going to stop using it, but it would kind of dampen like new adopters. But the guy who was in charge of that, at least according to headlines, I might have never fuck that. The guy who was in charge of it just wound up dead at his house. And that was all I saw. I didn't hear if they had released anything further on it. It was kind of weird for them to just say he was found dead because that was like the official story. It wasn't. They I guess just weren't. They weren't releasing anything yet. And then after that, and as usual, I got most of my information from Twitter, and I saw this in a. It was 4-part, like 4 articles. First, it was like Korean lawmakers going after Bitcoin. Second one was a thing about taking away anonymous banks. Third was official found dead in his house. And 4 was Korean lawmakers are looking at maybe being more flexible with Bitcoin now. But there was a big backlash before whenever they first came out about what they were going to do to people. There were a lot of people like, this is bad. Like, I don't know if it was in Korea or if it was just I guess just the rest of the Bitcoin community that was like, this is bad. So the question is, was this some random person in Korea, or to be more like fun about it, it's just some huge Bitcoin monster that just has every Bitcoin ever, just like, yeah, no, kill that guy. Just like one of these things that they blamed like Ulbricht. They blamed Ross Ulbricht for trying to take out, what was he? Some guy who was threatening to dox him. If you have all this Bitcoin and you're worried about it dropping or from the Korean thing, I could definitely see somebody doing that, but I could also just see it being just a local person who was angry about it, but that seems less likely. Especially if a politician ends up just dead at his house, that's normally something is involved.
So
there.
what's your theory? Is that it was a Bitcoin whale who took him out?
Maybe. Like, well, who else is going to pay? Who else is going to pay to have a South Korean
politician?
Yeah, just killed. Like countries do that shit and have trouble like covering it up. Like who? Unless like, because there's no reason for his country to do it. There's no reason for North Korea to come over. If it was something like it was going to affect, unless North Korea is mining all the Bitcoins, maybe they did it then.
Oh, but, you know Kim Jong's over there just like fucking mining away. Like
we're getting everything.
Rick, are you like a conspiracy theorist? Do you think you are? Do you think he like got popped for trying to kill Bitcoin?
I need to read up on it more. Because like I said, I've been just absolutely swamped. But I was trying, while he was talking, I was trying to think of who tweeted something earlier about like the sentiment towards Bitcoin has changed now that this guy's dead. You know, it's like, what? This is wild. So I do need to dig into it.
I saw the retweet from Cody Wilson.
Okay.
Cody.
Yeah, is he? That's interesting. So I'm gonna say this is what Cody would probably say. I'm not gonna. I legitimately have no idea how much I agree with this. So don't take this as my words. But what Cody would probably say, what I imagine him saying, is like, "This is great. Like, we need to. I'm not gonna go out and kill people. I'm just not that kind of guy. But if we show the world that they can't control us, and if they try to control us, we're gonna resist. That's great. I could see Cody saying that.
It's the whole idea of do you remember Cantwell used to talk before he went full Nazi
when he first became like really well known was for some blog post where he said it might be okay if you kill cops.
Well, yeah, he was defending it as making
Might be all right. Yeah.
He's making the point that like and yeah, I mean half the point of the post is to be incendiary because anyone sees that on Facebook fucking loses their minds. But
Yeah.
the idea is okay, you have a actual problem with police, you have a problem with police being brutal, then you make it terrifying to be a police officer. Like that's super against everything else that like most people in libertarians. So even among them, anyone who says that, and Cody isn't particularly liked by the rest. Everyone else is like, why are you making guns for everybody? They don't like him either, so he doesn't give a shit.
Didn't he have to kind of go into hiding or go off grid because of some of the stuff he's done with those 3D printed guns?
Not as much now, but when we went to
that's the guy. Okay.
yeah.
I watched the 3D printing documentary on Netflix. I guess probably was it last night or 2 nights ago? And he was on there. Okay.
All right.
They put out a bunch of videos. They're called it's Ghost Gunner on
Defense Distributed.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say because I was just chatting with Bitstein, and he does stuff with Defense Distributed, and I pulled up Cody's Twitter, and he's like retweeting this 3D printer thing that they're making all these AR-15s now because people are scared.
Low receivers.
It's like holy shit. But no, killing cops is okay. Like it's not. It's like obviously not any time, just like killing anybody isn't okay just anywhere. But if a cop's assaulting you, well, it's just like the government. Like it's all in your head. It's a socially constructed like fear of authority or something. Just because you're wearing a blue shirt with a little metal chrome star and you have a gun in your pocket trying to shoot me doesn't mean without the shirt and the star, my gun can't shoot you too. Like I'm gonna protect myself.
Yeah, I mean, people regularly say that. The cop killed him because the cop feared for his life. Well, what if I fear for my life because of the cop all the time?
Well, there's even one I think going on in Pittsburgh where I live right now where a guy shot a cop as he was just coming into his house because he's like, I don't like.
Yeah, don't come in my house.
Yeah, no, he didn't have. I think the only reason why the guy is getting is because they didn't have a warrant or it was a mistake or something like that. But it's like. Anybody who robs you in a house is going to scream police if they know, like, that's not a new thing. Like people where I grew up, that you always heard about people just doing that. Like, oh, I just let them in because they say that. You can't trust it. Like, so who the fuck cares if you're just screaming a word? But and
that guy would not. So a cop can shoot a black man literally running away from him with no gun and say, I feared for my life and get off. But that guy, he would not get off if he said the cop coming into my house armed scared me. I feared for my life and so I shot him. Nope, he's done. Like it's
capital murder.
It's the same thing with their dogs too. The dogs, if a police dog comes and mauls you and you fight it off,
we gotta stop.
You attacked an officer. What are you doing? He was biting me. What?
Yes, I'm killing that dog. I'm sorry. Like he's not a police officer.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is fun.
Anyway, talking about like shitty authoritarian regimes. Should we touch on Iran and Venezuela?
I put it in the show notes.
I haven't read too much on it. I mean, I knew.
Yeah, so we've had. Let me pull up their names real quick for
Eduardo,
Rick and all of our listeners. Yeah,
no, Gonzalo,
Eduardo, Gonzo, and then Alejandro. I was trying to pull up their Twitter handles. I don't have them offhand. All three of them. Some of them work for Purse. Some of them are traders. Some of them are just like technologists, developers. But they're all in and around Venezuela. They're all Venezuelan, and they keep. Pretty much Twitter updated on the Petro and that sort of thing. And they've been on the show a few times. They gave us a copy of the white paper before it was released and that sort of stuff. Super cool guys. And now, so apparently 1 barrel of oil backs 1 Petro, and the Petro released. And Alejandro today was showing us screen grabs of what is it, like NEM or some weird blockchain that they launched the Petro on instead of Ethereum or something.
Oh yeah.
But like none of the coins have moved. Like they have not raised a dime from this whole. And I was just like so fucking happy. I was like, yes, fuck you, because this is a ploy to line the pockets of a murderous dictator who lets his people starve while he's trying to launch a multi-million-dollar token.
Yeah.
And there was articles from Bloomberg and Forbes and stuff about how people who are drilling the oil that is supposed to back this currency are like collapsing on the job because they're so malnourished. They can't even mine the oil that's supposed to back this currency that this fucking more. It's I could go on forever. But anyway, follow them, watch old episodes.
It was episode 222 real quick if you want to watch it. The way you can get to all of our episodes, you go to youmeandbtc.com/E222. That would get you to 222 or whatever number is. youmeandbtc.com/E222.
I want
to about Iran.
What? I don't know. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Iran's like so sorry. I love politics. So like these politics coins are like my thing. They like Iran is like in the midst of the process of building a state issued currency too, and like Putin's already been talking with fucking what's his name, Ethereum dude Buterin about building a crypto Russian coin, and so like yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kim Jong's like plotting something too. Like in addition to like huge ICOs, I think 2018, 2019 is going to be the year when, and even like the Federal Reserve has said like they've thought about creating like a Fed coin type thing. I think we're going to see a lot of them in the next couple of years. And I don't know if y'all know Kevin Pham, who's sort of like a provocative. Yeah, he's nuts. But he tweeted at Vitalik one time and was like, this was years before, or not years, but like several months, crypto years before the Petro even came out. And he was like, Vitalik, if Putin uses your EVM Ethereum coin for like evil, are you going to stop him? Sort of like putting him in a bind of, well, if you can stop him, it's centralized. And if you can't stop him and don't, then fuck you. And Vitalik was like, yeah, I'll stop him. And so I'm just waiting for like one of these totalitarian regimes to launch on Ethereum, and like, what are you gonna do, Vitalik? So, yeah. But yeah, we got Venezuela, Iran, Russia, North Korea is probably next. China, for all we know, who knows?
I don't know. I think I feel like the Fed's probably going to bring it out quicker than that if they're actually thinking. I agree. It doesn't make sense for them to stay behind it. It literally makes perfect sense for everything for them to do to set up something so that every single transaction we do is on it wouldn't be hard. Everyone has a smartphone now, and the people who don't are enough that they don't have to worry about them. So the Fed is definitely going to set up something. Russia,
I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it wouldn't necessarily be like a substitute for the dollar. Like all money's already digital already. It would just be like a cryptographic dollar. Yeah, but the way I would envision the Fed doing it is creating just like annihilating all these other Tether and all this other shit and creating a real stable coin pegged to the dollar, like stable coin, and having that be the Fed dollar, and knocking all these other stable coins out. There's like a serious legal, like constitutional argument to be made that they're like illegal forms of money. Like I can't remember the names of them right now. It just slipped my mind. Like all these golden dollars and stuff that people used to pass off as money, and then the legal precedent started rolling around where it's like legal tender laws and that sort of stuff where it's illegal. And now there's questions about whether these stable coins like Tether that are supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio with a dollar sort of violate that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Fed sort of creates a real legitimized stable coin, and who knows what effect that'll have, but that's just how I see them doing it. I don't know, my opinion.
So I'm showing 8 o'clock even on my time zone. Makes it 10 p.m. Eastern, which means it's about time to wrap up. But
sorry, I sort of went on a few huge rants.
I love it. I love it. I'm glad we had a good time tonight. Talking about killing cops and friggin' it's a show.
Don't say that down where you live, Rick.
Man, I enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
It was a ton of fun.
That's awesome. I'm glad you wanted to come on. This has been a ton of fun. So thanks for coming.
And y'all check out the well reports. I think we'll get it fine tuned, and hopefully daily eventually would be the goal. So right now it's bi-weekly. So, just to give us some time. Everybody's got a life going on,
Yeah. Can you hit us up and our listeners tell us, like, Telegram groups and Twitter handles and that sort of stuff where we can follow and keep track of it all?
Do it.
The well reports.
Yeah.
And anything interesting.
Yeah, you can follow everybody. Well, I guess the main guys would be Killer Whale, the Crypto Street podcast people. So Killer Whale and Dale, Crypto Dale, and then Coin Yeezy, and then Icebergy, I think. He is the dark horse of the group. He does all the data, and I think his fiance or girlfriend is a data scientist as well. So he does a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, very quiet, but he is a core member. You know, he's kind of the anchor that holds it all together. But yeah, man, we're excited. Thank y'all for having me on. I think y'all earned a new listener right here. So
all right.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I didn't know y'all were anti-government, libertarian. I can defend and govern myself kind of deal. So I support that, all day.
We call ourselves one of our taglines since the beginning has been your liberty and Bitcoin podcast. So
love it.
That's kind of where we roll. I guess we'll forego advice of the week because we're over an hour and we got a personal story out of Rick, so that was fun. But I will give the every week advice, which is check out you, me, and BTC.com until our next shows come out. We did finally sort out our podcast feeds. So we do have, if you were subscribed to any of our podcast feeds before, that probably has been converted to it's the working name is the YMB network, but I really don't like that name. I want to get a better name for our overarching network of shows. But for now, it's the YMB network. That is now going to include every Thursday show live, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. It will include our Monday shows, which are usually from Tim these days, his monologues. And that will include Zach's Tuesday episodes, which are the Coin Pod. So if you were subscribed to anything, you're probably subscribed to all of those now. But if you want to find, a specific show, if you want to find just YMB or just the Coin Pod, you can do that too on wherever you're at. Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher. We're on iHeartRadio, all kinds of places. Leave us a review too. I'll drop that while I'm thinking of it. It would help a ton, whether it's 5 stars or not. Leave us a review. We'd love to know what you think, and it helps other people find us. So that's our advice of every week is find our website, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you like, we're there. And
can I drop one more comment?
Do it. Yep.
So I love this will be quick. I love the Coin Pod. Like I have a few cup interviews we've already recorded, lined up to crank out. But as a little teaser, I don't know if any of you guys or our listeners use Keybase, but I pinged Andreas on there last night because way back in the beginning of this show, you guys did an interview with him before I got involved. And I said, hey, we did this interview with you way back in early 2014 or whenever it was. And we just launched this new podcast, the Coin Pod. Can I interview you? And I have like a list of questions. He was like, essentially said yes, but he's working on mastering Ethereum right now. He said, I'm not doing any interviews until May when the book comes out. Ping me then, and we'll get something set up. So I'm pumped. Like that'll be hype. So follow the Coin Pod and get ready for that interview.
Cool.
Yeah, thecoinpod.com, and look where, like I said, wherever you're at, just whatever podcast you're, consumer you're using. What do they call them? Podcatchers. There we go. Just search for the Coin Pod. If you can't find it, seriously, just tweet me. I will. If you're using some obscure podcatcher, let me know. I'm reachable on Twitter at you, me, and BTC. I would absolutely love to know if you can't find us, and so that I can make it so that you can find us. All right, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks again. It's been a blast. We'll be back, like I said, Monday with Tim, Tuesday with Zach, Thursday with YMB Live. And we love you. Have fun. Thanks again, Rick. It's been a blast.
Thanks, guys.
We'll have you back someday.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Rick.
Peace out, everyone.
Bye.